Hello, viewers. I hope you all are doing well. And in this video, I will discuss about two literary theory. And this literary theory are little bit complicated, and you have to be utterly focused to understand the concept and to understand the core meaning of this two literary theory. Okay, this is not just a literary theory. These two uh, philosophical movements are used in various disciplines. Okay, now without any delay, let's begin the game. Means now let's begin the video. Okay, first we have to know what is structuralism. Structuralism, here I will talk in the perspective of literature, okay, and its counterpart, post-structuralism. What is structuralism and what are the examples of it and how it is used in literature? There are all kinds of things I will try to explain in this video, and I hope you will enjoy the video. Let's begin. So now we will learn the definition of structuralism. What is structuralism? Structuralism, simply or basically, it is a method of interpreting and analyzing such things like language, literature, and society, which focuses on contrasting ideas or elements of structure and it always attempts to show how they are related to the whole structure. Got it? So you might have mm, facing you might have been facing some difficulties with this definition. I will try to simplify it. Okay, so according to structuralism, they it it believes that all the things in literature, they are subject to structure. Means without any structure there will be no literary creation and there will be no composition. According to structuralism, those who believe structuralism, they advocate this kind of notion. Got it? And if a book or if a literary work has to be critiqued, then the structuralists, they will try to first analyze how this literary work is structured. They will try to analyze the structure of that particular text. Okay, so that is a part of structuralism. Okay, now let's try to know more about it. So in literary theory, structuralism, it challenges the belief that a work of literature reflected a given reality, and instead a text was constituted of linguistic conventions and situated among other texts. And structuralist critics, they analyze material by examining underlying structures such as characterization or plot and attempted to show how these patterns were universal and could thus be used to develop general conclusions about both individual works and the systems from which they emerged. Okay, and the anthropologist Claude Levi-Strauss, I may have pronounced wrong and I'm sorry for that. He was an important champion of structuralism, and he and another major figure of structuralism is Ferdinand de Saussure, and he is also considered as the pioneer of structuralism, and he has given a theory about how language work, and he has also said that language has two functions. Number one, it works as sign, and other it works as signifier. Got it? Now let's take an example of it. Structuralism, if we take an example, then for example, let's take an apple. If we try to portray, or if we try to explain the the means elements of apple according to structuralism, then the structuralism will say that apple is very crisp and it is very sweet, delicious, juicy, round, and hard. Okay, and uh, and if we take another example of structuralism, if we try to discuss or describe the experience of ocean or sea, then we will see that the ocean is very salty, windy, cold, but rejuvenating. Okay, so here you have seen that the structuralism, they always try to focus on structure. Like if we talk about apple, then we have said that the apple is round and it is very hard, it is sweet, it is crisp, and it is juicy. So here we have talked all about the structure of that particular fruit. Got it? So structuralisms, their primary focus is about structure. Got it? And another thing is, we have already talked about osin, right? Yeah. Osin. If we talk about osin, then we will say ocean, that ocean is very windy, it is salty, it is cold, but as well as it is rejuvenating. So here we have talked about the structure of the ocean. Got it? So they primarily focus on the structure of anything. Okay, here let's try to know more about structuralism. Structuralism enables both the reader of the text and reading of culture. Through semiotics, structuralism leads us to see everything as textual, that is composed of signs governed by convention of meaning and ordered according to a pattern of relationship. In addition to that, structuralism enjoyed popularity in the 1950s and 1960s in both European and American literary theory and criticism. For example, when someone says the word tree, the sound he or she makes is the signifier, and the concept of tree is the signified. That's it. Now let's try to know about post-structuralism. Post-structuralism is just the opposite of structuralism, because the core belief of structuralism is to find structure and to analyze the structure of a particular thing. On the other hand, the post-structuralism, it believes that there are means one should not go for the structure, rather we should focus on another aspects of a particular thing. Let's try to know about the definition. Post-structuralism is a term for philosophical and literary forms of theory that builds upon and rejects ideas established by structuralism, the intellectual projects that preceded it. And post-structuralism, it rejects the idea of a literary text having a single purpose, a single meaning, or one single existence. Instead, every individual reader creates a new and individual purpose, meaning, and existence for a given text. So here, if you talk about post-structuralism in a literary theory or in a literature, then we have to say that post-structuralism believes that there are uh, no stipulated, or there are no hardcore structure or rules for a particular thing in in literature or in literary work. Okay, for example, you have read a book, okay, and that book was related to finance. As you have read the book, that then you have got to know that if you want to build a career in financial world, then this book will be pretty helpful for you. But on the other hand, I have read the book and I don't want to build any kind of career in the financial world. Then that book will be not a very vital thing for me, right? So for me, that book will be just a book on financial matter. But on the other hand, for you, that book will be very important and necessary book for your journey, right? So here the post-structuralism comes. How? Because post-structuralism believes that each and every reader will get different kinds of meaning of a particular text or of a same text that we have read. Got it? Okay. Now let's go on. Here, as we have already mentioned, that every individual reader creates a new and individual purpose, meaning, and existence for a given text. Now let's take another example. For example, you have watched a movie, and that movie is utterly based on a love story, and you are in love. You have just fallen in love with a girl, and you are in your teenage stage. So for you, that movie will be very interesting and you will love that movie. On the other hand, I am 50 years old, right? And I am watching that movie, but for me that movie will not be very interesting. Rather, that movie may take me to a world when I was in the teenage stage, right? So here what happens is that for you that movie has created different meaning. For me, that movie has created different and new meaning, right? So that is what post-structuralism is trying to say. Got it? And if we try to talk about who has pioneered this work and how many people are there in this world who has tried to create something about post-structuralism, then there are many like Jacques Derrida, Gilles Deleuze, and Julius Kristeva. They are counted as prominent examples of post-structuralism. Okay, and according to post-structuralist theory, literature can have no singular meaning for a number of reasons. Got it? This is we all know. Okay, now let's take an example here. I have written a poem. When I was writing that poem, my intention was uh, was that that poem will be for my beloved, right? But when my beloved, when she had got that poem and when she had read it, then she found that whatever I had written uh, in the poem, that poem does not um, conform with her. So she has said that this poem is not for me. This poem has nothing to do with me, right? On the other hand, that poem is published on social media, and people are saying that means they are now saying that this poem is related to me. On the other hand, that poem is now included in your in university textbook syllabus. Then the interpretation and the meaning of that book, or sorry, or that poem will be utterly different. So that's why the post-structuralist theories, they believe that literature can have no singular meaning. Got it? I hope you have understood it. It is not so tough. Okay. Now, why literature can have no singular meaning for a number of I have told you, each person are experiencing their unique kind of uh, incidents, emotions. So their reaction will be, that's why it is utterly different, right? First, if you talk about first, then the first reason is that no two readers will be alike. Each person flipping through the pages will bring his or her own life experiences to the work, and with that, his or her own interpretation of the meaning of words and themes will be utterly different. Another reason for this stance against singular meaning goes along with the word difference, which refers to the process of words deriving meaning from other words, because words are essentially meaningless symbols that can never fully represent the ideas they are meant to convey. They are always at a distance to what they signify and open to a multitude of interpretations through the sheer lack of specific specificity. Got it? So if you talk about what do you call it? Yes, post-structuralism. Let's take another example. Okay, okay. You have read a novel. Okay, that in that novel there are various kinds of things described on the love, right? There are in that movie, the the love for your uh, brother is there, and there it is shown that the love for brother is means very rare thing, and you will not see these kinds of thing in every home, right? But as you have read that book, then you have found that it does not means uh, it is not related to you. Why? Because you have no brother, right? So this book have nothing to do with you. This book has nothing to do with you. On the other hand, your uncle's son, he has his own brother, and he has read that book, and then he has found out that yes, it is true, the love for brother is very rare thing. Okay? So that's why each people will bring his or her own interpretation. So that's the thing the post-structuralists they try to advocate. That's it. This is in my own words. What I have known, that I have tried to depict here, and I hope you have enjoyed the video. And this is not the absolute video on the structuralism and post-structuralism. You must watch another video too, and you must read the book, original book written on structuralism and post-structuralism. Thank you so much for watching the video.